But I think there's a lesson that anyone with any situation in life can learn from what I just shared. Hello, today is November 6, 2018, and the time is around 1:30 p.m. What if I was wrong to assume that everyone with my criminal case knew all the facts as I did, or I do? You know, all these years I've been talking about court corruption and how everyone involved with my criminal case, they were being malicious, because I assumed everyone had the same facts that I did, or at least read them. For example, with some of the facts contained in the second incomplete disclosure package compared to what was testified to by the former officer. Taken from the second incomplete disclosure package, quote, with names omitted, the female is in her own apartment and makes her own decisions and has no appointed guardian, thus meaning she can give consent to sexual activities, invalidate any potential criminal charges. Keep in mind, she stated that there was no sex numerous times to the officers, which they did not believe. What if I was wrong to assume everyone knew these facts about my case? The former officer, contrary to what he was told, testified November 2013, quote, I'm not a medical professional, obviously. The difficulties we had explaining the situation, very obvious she was not functioning at her appropriate age level. I was taking advantage of a disabled person. Side note, my first lawyer asked, quote, but it was a supposition that proved groundless, obviously, because charges were never laid. More on this shortly. Her diagnosis is anxiety, as can be read in this text message by the second executive director, the day she told me I and a male co-worker were accused of sexually assaulting her. Quote, it simply elevates further her anxiety and stress. What is anxiety, and does it make her mentally deficient? The partner of the former officer described her wanting to vomit, worried, and in fear, all signs of anxiety, testified by the former officer as mentally deficient. The officer testified to information contrary of what he was told by other professionals, and for example, the trial judge and prosecutor trusted what he said to be true. He breached their trust. Taken from the second incomplete disclosure package, quote, with names omitted, Tuesday, June 18, 2013, there was no likelihood of any criminal charge. She, the detective, also stated that the police do not go hunting for victims of sexual offenses. The part highlighted in green is based on after the female apparently admitted to the former officer and his partner, after they handcuffed me and beat me, that she was not a victim, but rather diverted attention from her and claimed it was other women at the organization. Quote, if persons within the program had been victim of any sexual offense by Meriden, then it would be on them to come forward. What if I was wrong to assume everyone knew these facts about my case? The former officer, contrary to what he was told, testified November 2013, quote, the Crown Prosecutor and the Sex Crimes Division of the Calgary Police Service was agreed that there was a significant risk to Mr. Meriden being involved in these types of organizations. Side note highlighted with green, the former officer put me on a sex crimes database before or despite knowing the facts, which is now part of my permanent record. So if heaven forbid I am ever falsely accused again, it appears I have a history of being a perpetrator. It also affects my ability to find further employment reflecting my education and career history for life. Quote, an information report was completed on the police system, so it's notified, it's documented that we had this interaction. However, due to other reasons, no charges were laid as of yet. Continuing to quote the highlighted red, and all the sex crimes detective, staff sergeant, and the Crown Prosecutor all agreed that there was a significant concern and risk with regards to his interaction with that female. Keep in mind, the former officer taking the text messages of that evening out of context when he testified in November of 2013, which the sex crimes unit would have reviewed and put in proper context, thus making their conclusions. The officer testified to information contrary of what he was told by other professionals, and for example, the trial judge and prosecutor trusted what he said to be true. He breached their trust.
And I made the assumption that there was all these evil deeds by all these people. But what if I was wrong in assuming that these people were being malicious? Perhaps they didn't know all the facts. Or if they did have it in their possession, they didn't go through it with any due diligence for detail. Now, that would put me in the wrong, making that assumption. But that would also mean that I was no more wrong than they were to assume that whatever was said about me was true. Really what I'm getting at here is the human side of the legal system, because we're all human beings. And even when you know more than someone else or other people, you can still make an uninformed conclusion, an assumption, that they know as much as you do. So when I look back on my case and thinking about the second incomplete disclosure package not being made known to a lot of people, say with regards to the female, and yet there's testimony that contradicts those facts for whatever reason, either by chance or design. But there's other facts contained that would lean more towards it being by design.
In the second incomplete disclosure package, the former officer noted in his occurrence report he witnessed something that took place in the back of the police cube van, while stating he was in the front of the police cube van out of view. This in itself is suspicious.
So all these years I made the assumption that everyone involved with my case knew all the facts. But it appears, with recent events, that not everyone knows all the facts. They trusted, for example, this former officer, whatever he said was true. But he breached their trust. And he has reason to, because he was wrong. We're all human beings. Doesn't mean like a professional title doesn't mean anything. It's no magic involved that all of a sudden you become more human than human. So throughout my criminal trial, people have formed their opinions and whatnot, but slowly and painfully, the truths are coming out. A little too late. So I just wanted to share that thought for whatever it's worth. And for most of you may not even understand what I'm saying. Some of you might relate. And to whomever else is watching, you know what I'm saying. anyway, I hope everyone's doing well in the world. All my viewers, my followers. But I think there's a lesson that anyone with any situation in life can learn from what I just shared. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share.